So what really went into the decision to, to go to Penn State from Cornell?
Um, well, when when COVID happened, um, uh, uh, Cornell, with no accountability, took away a lot of opportunities for athletes. The Ivy League, and not just Cornell, the Ivy League. The Ivy League was the first to cancel fall sports, and they were the first to cancel winter sports, and then ultimately they canceled spring sports as well that year. And we were, it was just terrible what the decision making that was going on. You have administrators making decisions for young people that ultimately have no risk at all to this to COVID, and it was destroying opportunities for these kids. And pretty much, I think the administration really to us kind of outed itself that it just can't be trusted. And even even more, the president of Cornell, Martha Pollock, and her administrative staff, that is, whoever's making the decisions between all of them, there was no accountability. There was no like stepping in front of the athletes and saying, hey guys, like we're doing this decision and here's why we believe it's the right thing. She didn't even get on one Zoom call. She didn't get on one anything. She just, her and the collective, Ivy presidents canceled sports. And I can't speak for the other Ivy League schools and how it went down, but she hid and just had our athletic director report that news to us, which, I just lost an enormous amount of respect for the leadership at Cornell. But we were sticking it out, and fall sports naturally get canceled. That's and then winter sports get canceled, which is absolutely breaking. I'm sitting there on a couch next to not just my brother, but all these other guys that are watching the national tournament. Guys accomplish their goals and dreams, and they're sitting on the couch at home watching it, and that was really difficult to swallow, and then but we're all we started thinking, all right, well, they're going to bring spring sports back, and then we're going to get back to normality, and then we'll get back to what we do. Well, then they canceled spring sports, and that was just like, well, this is it, we're done. I mean, you can't, we're past the point of logic, and it's time to move on, because ultimately the opportunities at Cornell with current leadership in place were being stripped away with zero accountability. So he didn't know where he was going to go, but he knew that he needed to move on. And I was going into the business world anyways, and he went through just the process, right? Went into the transfer portal, saw a couple places, and ultimately, he had 2 years of eligibility left, and he chose Penn State, and that's the rest is history. So,
yeah, I mean, I think personally, one of the things that bothered me the most was, your brother wins a national title, and he could have not mentioned Cornell whatsoever, but I know on his Instagram post, he thanked Cornell, thanked thanked his former teammates there. And if you sit there and scroll, not one of those guys from Cornell replied to it. Nobody liked it. Nobody replied to it. And I think that just kind of shows, he had the gratitude and the appreciation, to give Cornell a shout out, to say, no matter, because of your decisions, I lost a year, didn't get another, didn't get that 1 year to wrestle, to the whole team, but nobody from that school that wrestles there currently even thought about it. And, you guys, both of you, himself and you, both of you guys wrestled there. Both of you went through the program, and I thought that was just kind of bothered me a little bit that, he reached out to them and he said, hey, thank you guys. And they didn't there was nothing in return for your brother.
Well, I think that kind of says it all, right? You got, as I was just mentioning, why is Penn State so successful? it's a constant positive environment. You can tell the level of respect between the athletes and the coaching staff and the people that are involved in making that successful. It's a completely selfless environment. And there's no drama. There's no backstabbing. There's none of that. It's not allowed. You can, and I'm not in the Penn State room, but I can see that, through Max's experience there. I'm not going to name names or getting to the nitty gritty detail, but it's something that I don't spend really any mental energy on because it doesn't matter and I just don't care. And neither does Max, but it seemed like, as we were leaving Cornell, for some reason we were just being painted as like these bad guys, where, all these things, and you can get online and read all these terrible things about, us and whatever you want. But the truth of the matter is it had nothing to do with the wrestling program. Now, the people within the wrestling program that had influence, unfortunately took it to their hands to make us seem like bad guys, which they're influenced all these young kids that that obviously have bitterness about his decision. But the fact of the matter is really simple, is that you take away opportunities for a young man and other young men, not just Max, but the other guys on the team. And one guy decides to make a decision that he can't be in a place where his values don't align with the leadership at making the decisions for Cornell and the athletes' opportunities. And for some reason, that is an issue, and he's a bad person because of it to some of the public, which I think it's childish. I think it's immature. I think it's actually laughable in my personal opinion, that people not only spend, because it's insecurity, right? I see that, you see these guys that go out of their way and to try to diminish what Max has just accomplished, and it just makes me laugh because it exposes all the reasons that we weren't even going to mention, because we're not those kind of people. But it exposes all the more of the reasons why we needed to move on, because it's just drama. It's just a lot of drama, and that's why you don't see any of his former teammates, reaching out to him or anything like that, because we were painted to be the bad guy or not. I don't care what people think, because I don't spend time doing that. But it is it almost makes me feel bad for them. It makes me feel bad for Cornell wrestling, that there isn't a level of class that is there isn't a level of class that's ingrained into the young men there. So